Okay, so I promised you that I would come and color Kincaid with you. This is a book that one of my best friends at work got for me because she loves me. And so I've been coloring it with my Sucolor glitter pens because Kincaid was the painter of light. And we know that when we color with glitter pens, we know that it adds more light to what we're doing. I don't know if you'll be able to see all of the glitter that these Sucolor pens put down, but it's really quite amazing in person to be able to see it. And so this was, I think, maybe the third coloring that I did or the fourth coloring that I did with the Sue glitter pens. And then I believe this was the second one. And then this was the first one that I did. And you can see all of this lovely blue. I love this particular blue. This is the G52 in the Sucolor pens. And so I had to wait for some of my refills in order to be able to do some of the blue skies that I like to do with that beautiful, beautiful blue. And then I thought this is the one that maybe I would work on today, mainly because of the horses and because of this blue sky that I want to work on. And I love all these different gradations of greens. I have one that I did in here that has the lavender for, I believe this is a crepe myrtle tree. And then of course all the beautiful flowers on the side that we'll be filling in. And the beautiful thing about this book is that you have an example that you can look at, and then the drawing on the right side that you can begin to fill in. One of the reasons that I chose this particular color page that I want to do today is that many, many years ago, I'd probably say about 45 years ago, my brother passed away when he was 9 years old. And one of the last things that we did on Thanksgiving Day, that was the last time that I saw him. And, you know, before the tragic accident that happened, he was in a car accident. And the last thing that we all did on Thanksgiving Day or during Thanksgiving Day was that we rode horses. And he rode a Palomino horse that looked just like this horse. And so I want to color this picture in remembrance of him, James Ashley Thomas. So what I'm going to do is to start with this beautiful, beautiful color that I was telling you about, this G52. And it makes for the most beautiful sky that you can create, because it's a very, very light blue. And so you can see they have all the lines for you for where you're going to color this in. They make it so easy. And then where you have these white places, you can kind of just figure out where that might be and just leave an open space there. And that's, you know, what I'll do here on the sides. They have this drawn where that will be white, and then just go from there. All right, so I'm going to push my Sucolors to the side just a little bit, so I have a little arm room here, and I have my Prisma pencils here too. Those are my favorites, and these Sucolor glitter pens. So just start anywhere. You might be coloring this picture with me, or you might be coloring something else. Either way is fine, just as long as you're coloring and having a good time being able to spend time coloring something that you want to be able to color to make art. And so I color a lot in circles. Sometimes I'll color just straight up and down. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll outline. Sometimes it's just according to the way in which the picture is designed. You know, what kind of lines would be in whatever this work is that I'm coloring. And so with these glitter pens, these really turn out majestic looking. And some of these I would love to frame, but now I don't want to take them out of my little color book here. The other thing that you can do is you can go to a place where they print larger pictures for you. Of course, you know, you can't sell these because someone else drew them, but you can go to like I go to Walgreens to do this, and they have a place where they can make these into posters, and I mean thick, heavy posters, and then they can be hung on your walls. They can be hung in your office. They can be given to friends. And so some of your favorite ones, I almost said favorite. Some of your favorite ones, you can have a print made of those, and hang them in your house, your office, or give them to friends. And I think I haven't tried this, but I want to. I think this is what it's called, but I believe there's a product called Mod Podge. It's sort of the same kind of product that when you put puzzles together and you want to make them into a picture that you can frame, and you put the Mod Podge on top. I think that's what it's called. I'll have to look that up and post that in the links. But they have one now that's a glitter Mod Podge. And so you could actually possibly, and I'm going to try this, you could do the big framed picture from Walgreens or wherever you go to have your pictures made into something else when you want to, or something larger from your phones. You can actually take that glitter Mod Podge, and some of you can correct me in the comments, and you could put that on top of the picture that you have, and then you would still have that glitter effect that you get just by coloring with the glitter gel pens from Sue Colors. There may be some other really excellent glitter pens out there too, but I just really noticed when I bought these that the glitter that they put down, excuse me, the glitter that these pens put down is pretty remarkable. I'm sorry about my voice this morning. I guess it's the change in the weather. Excuse me. It always affects me that way. It may affect some of you that way also. My daughter just had her birthday yesterday, September 13th, 37 years ago. What a blessed day that was for me. She has been such a blessing in my life. Never have had any trouble out of her or any of those things. She loves to color and draw and all those kinds of things too. In fact, the Mary E. Maid that I talk about all of the time, or in the last few videos, she has an Etsy shop called Mary E. Maid. And, I go on there and buy things from her, support her little original art business. I told you in my last video about my son, my oldest son passing away 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. My daughter's a ministry. She runs a Facebook ministry. And one of the best things that has been said to me that really has helped me to get through some of my hardest, darkest moments after losing my son was she told me, she says, Mom, she says, she said, when Daniel passed away, she said, his last worst breath here was his first best breath there. And even though that didn't take away, of course, the grief and the sorrow of losing Daniel, it certainly gave me that comfort to hold on to, that as soon as he woke up, he was in a much better place, in a place of healing. So that really has given me so much comfort when I start thinking about his not being here. He was such a lovely person. But when I think about his not being here, I try to make sure I go to that place where he is somewhere where he is completely healed of any and everything in his life that caused him any kind of pain. And that always makes me feel better to know that. Sometimes I dream of him. On the very first night that he had passed away, I had raised my children on a pine tree farm and way out in the country. And I was there at my baby son's house, which is where they were raised, in that house. And we made arrangements so that he could have that house, and his father and I did. And so I was staying there, you know, those first few nights after Daniel had passed away. And that very first night when I went to sleep, Daniel came to me in my dreams, and there was an open space in the pine trees where all the sunlight was coming through. And he was just floating across that open space in the sunlight. The sun was all around him, and he was smiling as big as day. And he just told me, he says, "Mama," he says, "it's so great here." He says, "I'm so free." And, you know, I do believe that was God giving me comfort, knowing that he was in a better place and that he was doing okay. Now, like I say, that didn't take away the grief and the longing for my son, but it did give me comfort to know that he is in a good place in his next life. And I kind of like to think that when we have losses, when we lose people that we love, that maybe we don't lose them at all. Maybe they've just moved on to the next realm of their lives, and they're just there watching over us and waiting for us until it's our time to move on to the next realm of our lives, where we will be able to join them again and be with them. Losing my son is the worst pain I've ever known in my life. And I've had pain. I mean, I lost my baby brother when he was 9 years old, and that was extremely painful. And then I lost my dad when he was only 62. And a part of me will always believe that the brokenness and the stress that he felt over losing my baby brother, who was such an angel, that some of that contributed to my father's early death, because 62 is young. I mean, I'm 61, and hope that I have at least a few more years to live and be a part of the rest of my family. I didn't feel that way in the beginning after I lost my son. You know, after I lost my son, I feel like this is pretty common, I didn't want to be here. I just wanted to be where he was. And, you know, now when I think about it, my heart's pretty much torn into two different places. A part of my heart is there where he is, and then the other part of my heart is here where my other two children are. And so, you know, I've had to put some things in perspective and realize that I wouldn't want to do anything that would make them hurt any more than what they already do after losing their brother the way that they did. So our family has still been in a lot of transition, trying to recover from the loss of somebody who was obviously so important to us. And so you can see right here, all I'm doing is